Thank you so much for joining with us today. We hope that each one of you shall find the session interesting. Just stay tuned till the last because I'm sure there are great takeaways for everyone today. So before we start, I would just like to mention one or two ground rules for everyone. First, I would request everyone to keep their microphones at mute. Unmute it only when you have some questions to ask. Also, you can ask your question by typing it in the chat button. We'll also hold a Q&A session at the end, so you can ask or you can reserve your questions for the last. Second, there is a quiz on the basis of today's session, and we'll disclose the results for the same tomorrow. So please find the link for the quiz after this session on the same page from where you joined this meeting. Now, to start with, we know that each and every OEM is unique in its own ways. Each company or organization has different processes, locations, systems, needs, devices, budgets, and data collecting needs. That is why we have come up with this session, which will give you insights to how our solutions, Schneider solutions, can be customized to fit just each and every need or industrial processes, be it big or be it small. So, to deliver the session, we have today with us Mr. Balaji. He is our All India EcoStruxure expert and a master in his field. Welcome, Balaji, and now over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mansi. Thanks for your introduction. Hello all, I am Balaji Mohan. I am an EcoStruxure champion for a country. Today we will be discussing in detail in terms of the need of an industry 4.0 and the evolution of industry, and let's showcase like how Schneider can able to help our customers in terms of this digital transformation journey. To start with, let me give a brief introduction how this journey started and what is the role we as a Schneider Electric has a contribution in terms of this digital evolution. Let me start with 18th century. 18th century we don't have electricity in place. So those days what I used to do like as a manufacturer, I will go for a mechanical based system where I can power with water or steam based system. Here comes the industry 2.0. Yes, I have a electricity in place, but it's not like mass production I can do. Maybe the automated system, if I am looking for, like my automated system will be a relay based. Then like the actual evolution started. At 1968, we Schneider Electric, we launched our first Modicon 84 controller, which created the industry 3.0 evolution. After that, like yes, I have a PLC based system and I can able to control my program with serial communication, then to RS485 communication, then again like with Ethernet. So like this we evolved from 1968 to till date, like with the industry 3.0 evolution. So now why I need industry 4.0 evolution? What is the real difference and the benefit I am going to get with industry 4.0 with industry 3.0? I am very sure like this is one question like every OEM is thinking in his mind, and what is the real benefit I am going to get out of it? Let me give a very classic example from our field itself. 15-20 years back, I used to have a dual starter. I can connect my motor and this will run effectively, no issue. I can able to yield the production which I was expecting. Here comes a drives into picture, and for those days like drive is an additional investment for a customer. Why I have to put a drive in my system where I can able to yield a good result with the DOL starter itself? This been a question from every OEM and end user into their applications. After deploying drives into their industries and the applications, customer could able to realize this is the energy saving which I can able to extract. Of late, nobody is talking about drives and nobody is talking about the customer applications. You put a drive here, you will get a energy saving, because now people are realizing the difference and the saving which they could able to get out of drives. The same philosophy is applicable for industry 4.0. If I am having a PLC based system, I am having a HMI. Again, like I can have a remote monitoring. This looks very simple. But again, like if I am having a data in cloud, I am going to do analytics out of my data. And what I am going to do is I am going to do a betterment with my process and application. Here comes the challenge for my customers: how I will connect the data, how I can make my system intelligent, how I can able to achieve the efficiency, better efficiency, and how to reduce my downtime. So these are the different questions will rises once we talk about industry 4.0. With at the end of this session, like I'm very sure like you will
ठीक
get
है, ठीक है सर, आप 1 मिनट होल्ड कीजिए, मैं देख लेती हूँ। ओके, थैंक यू।
end of
सबकी
this
आवाज
session.
नहीं आ रही।
Participants, can you please put yourself on mute? Thank you. So this industry 4.0, I am very sure like end of this session, like you can able to get the actual difference what you are going to get out of industry 4.0. This will be your key takeaway and how Schneider can help you in terms of this industry evolution. I won't say this is a revolution, it's a evolution because it's the process change and the people mindset change. This is how we are achieving our desired goals. Let me give a one example, and this is one of the key challenge for every customer, especially a end user. Let's say I am a end user. The average downtime with the unplanned maintenance activity or a downtime which contribute 5 percentage of loss. If I put it into number of hours, it is somewhere around 100 hours, and in the capacity of running plant in a year, it's close to 2000 hours. This is a source from ARC report. The another example, if I am from a mining industry, the total maintenance cost in general, which is getting higher than my capital cost with the lifetime of an asset. The maintenance cost is typically 30 to 50 percentage of my total mine's operating cost. And let put another scenario here. 60 percentage of my workforce, if I am from an end user team, the 64 percentage of my workforce, they are day in day out doing the maintenance activity of the downtime which they are facing it. So if am I doing something value addition to my process? Am I giving something extra edge to my application? No, I am addressing my day to day problem. I am not utilizing my resources productively in terms of increasing the efficiency of my system, because like my maintenance in a day to day activity itself is consuming 60 percentage of my workload efficiency. Now let's go for a digital transformation. If I have a digital transformation with my application or my process as a OEM, how I can able to help my end customers pain point? Let's put this into a 4 bullet points. As a OEM, every time like you will be in a serious pressure in terms of delivering your application or a machine within the defined lead time by your end customer. Typically, the time to market. As a OEM, you depends on like the programming, and you depends on the hardware availability and the technical know-how and the application development. In case if I have a good digital transformation solution with me, that the time to market I can reduce by 20 to 50 percentage, and optimizing the expertise, like say like you are using some a third party controller, and you are coming to Schneider Electric with one project opportunity. Your competency level with the third party controller versus like the Steiner for first time, you may not have the complete know-how, but we as a expert, we can come online and we will support you with the process. And with the process, it's not only about the technical expert of Schneider Electric who is going to do your project, and unknowingly you will also engage to this project, and you will also equipped with our software, and you are also having the hands-on to the software. By this way, I can increase the efficiency and the expertise know-how of the project and the application by 40 to 55 percentage.
Hello, no audio. No audio.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, now we can hear you, Balaji.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for addressing. So the connectivity in the process and the industry. Now, yes, earlier I used to have a PLC, maybe a very few sensors, and we used to have a servo bear and drives. This is how my system will work. Now we realized it's not only about the traditional sensors which we use in our applications. The critical example is the vibration sensor. Through the vibration sensor, I can able to sense like something went wrong with my, let's take a conveyor or any testing application. The vibration of my process is increasing. It means that something went wrong with my mechanical system. So it is something like a direct proportional value for me. As a process expert, by understanding this vibration difference, I can work on my problem and I can correct it right away. By this way, I can improve I can maintain my productivity as per my commitment to my customer. The next one, mobility. As we discussed earlier, mobility is one of the important driving factor for. Sir, can you put yourself on mute? Sorry. So this mobility is one of the recent trend again. As a maintenance person, I have a smartphone with me. How I can use my smartphone effectively in terms of addressing my day-to-day problem? Instead of running to a central control room where I have a SCADA station and or I have a HMI in a machine where I have to see my data. Instead of that, like I am in a soft floor, maybe in the ramp, like I'm just seeing like my tower lamp is flashing. So instead of rushing towards my machine, what I can do, I can just take my smartphone and I can see what went wrong, why my tower lamp is flashing with my mobile app. So by this way, maybe I can understand like, yeah, it's not a very critical alarm for me. Yes, I can acknowledge the alarm and I can go ahead with my process. Like this, it's not only about Schneider Electric. Every vendor in a market and industry who demands for a mobile-based application and this is a need of an hour, we will be discussing this kind of app and the functionality which we are going to give to our customer in terms of this digital evolution journey. The next one is a cloud. This is one classic example I always use to my customer just to understand cloud easier. I will give you two examples. Uh, if I am a end customer, every end customers they will have a production system and as usual they will have some captive power plant. So today my expectation of my power generation is maybe 5 megawatt. Down the line, my power generation demand it is increasing to 10 megawatt. Again, I have to go for another capital investment. Again, I have to go for another plant expansion. So this is a cost for me. Instead, what I will do, maybe like I will maintain a few with my own and few with a government-based system. Like I will go for a electricity board and I will pay as per my usage. This will make my life easier. The same philosophy is applicable for cloud. Few years back, we always talk about laptop with the 20 GB, 40 GB, then 500 GB. Even now we are talking about 1 terabyte laptop and the data storage. This is for a common man like us. How about the industry? How about the process and the application? Let's take banking sector as an example. Every day we throw close to 1 terabyte of data on a MQTT protocol. So how to manage with those protocol? Here comes this cloud where I don't have anything to do with my maintenance cost because someone else is managing my server and what I am going to do, I will pay as per my usage. this is a real evolution, and which is helping in terms of the infrastructure point of view also, and it is encouraged by every customers. Maybe they can go for their own cloud-based data, or they may go for a third-party system, maybe like Azure or Amazon. These are the different vendors available in market for cloud connectivity. They can able to give you storage for your analysis purpose. Here comes the important factor is analytics. Because if you are talking about HMI and data monitoring, you can do all the machine related monitoring from HMI itself. So what is the real difference I am going to get with Industry 4.0? Am I working with my data? Say like, I will give you a simple example. My motor temperature is 50 degree. Today, this is working at a normal operating temperature, somewhere around 30-40 degree. It's okay. But there may be some scenario, my motor temperature is increased to 70 degree. So what is happening as IT player, I am analyzing my data continuously. Motor temperature changed from 40 degree to 70 degree. So what will happen if not now, down the line, my system is going to fail.
Balaji sir, excuse me sir, could we please hold on for a moment? Actually, some of them are facing issues with sound. They are not able to hear the voice properly. So for all of those who are facing such issues, I would request you to please log out once and then log in. I'm sure it would work. All of you, please log out who are facing issues with display or sound. Please log out once and then log in. It would work. And also, Balaji sir, I would request you to please press the mute all button from your desktop so that we don't have any discrepancies while the webinar is going on.
Balaji, if you can click on participant actions.
Participant actions.
On your left side.
Sir, it's below the participants list.
Okay,
On the left
sorry.
hand side.
From here, you can mute the audience.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much. Better I will keep it unmute so that like if you want to communicate some message to me, I can. Maybe later if required, I will change it. Okay. Marcia, I hope like you can hear me now.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
So this analytics is a one important parameter which is going to help our customer in terms of digital evolution. The another very easy example which I used to give it to our customers for easy understanding. Let's take Uber as an example. Many of you might be booking a taxi in Uber for last 3-4 years, and if you see the evolution of Uber, those days whenever you book a taxi, maybe like you are going to a shopping mall or you are going to some common place, even at your apartment level, if you see like you book a taxi from somewhere deep inside your apartment, and the taxi might go into the backside door or back entry, and there will be always challenge in terms of the pickup point. Now if you notice, you can see one dotted line and it will connect to the common pickup point where I have a better strike rate. If I say strike rate, maybe like in an apartment there will be a common entrance, or in a shopping mall there will be a common entrance, and this is a common boarding point where most of my clients being boarded. So this they will take it as a data source, and with the data source they will help their customers with a better effective boarding point, and this will help both customer as well as the taxi driver in terms of the easy pickup and coordination. This is all about analytics. The another typical example which we see in our day-to-day life, IRTC, like if you are booking a train ticket, like those days we never used to get a confirmation probability. Now with big data and the analytics in place, I can able to give a confirmation probability to my customers whether I can go ahead with this booking or not. How it is happening? I will take the data trend and the pattern which the tickets been booked in the particular season. This season may change if it is a holiday or a festival timing, or if it is a non-festival season. Accordingly, I have a lot of data with me. I will put the data algorithm model into this. With the result, I will help my customers for a easy access to my booking. This is all about the analytics. What we have discussed is a day-to-day process. Maybe I can give you one typical example with one end user use case. Let's take, I am having a sensor. This sensor is connected to a cloud. As a result, the system determined the bearing temperature too high for this certain condition because we have created a intelligence. Maybe this intelligence can be a condition based intelligence. So this condition is being matched. What next? System will trigger a emergency work order through a software tool. This is a typical range like which is above the tolerable limit. As soon as it crosses the tolerable limit, we will create a work order based on the prioritization. Next, the technical engineer, he will get a mobile alert in his mobile phone with the mobile connectivity. Next, the technician find that this oil in this reservoir is half and the seal is like overflowed, and because of this there is a bearing issue. This is a root cause analysis of my data. Then system inform the pump will work likely for next 7 days. How it is happening? With my previous experience. So last time whenever this similar problem happened, my system was running effectively for 7 days. So like this I can able to derive to the wear and tear of my system, and I can give a predictive solution to my customer. With next 7 days my system will go for a failure. Then what I have to do, the system will recommend what is the procedure or the process to be followed in terms of the corrective action, maybe attaching a video to it. Then now technician can repair and close the work order. So this is how the simple sensor which is having intelligence and connecting to a cloud help our end user to achieve a better result. And what they are doing right now is avoiding a severe breakdown. A typical use case, maybe like I will tell you in oil and gas, if you go for one pump and if it is get fail, there will be a crores and crores of loss in terms of the revenue generation. So this kind of the predictive analytics business model and the data model sampling will help our customers to convert a simple field level data to a useful information. So how I am going to work with my data and how I can help my customers for achieving the better result. It's all about Industry 4.0. And you as a machine expert, you always have hundreds of variables in your PLC, or maybe like in your application there are hundreds and sensors will be there. Is that like everything I am going to connect? You as an expert, you really have a hold of your application and you know what is very critical in your application. So drill down to the key KPIs. So this is very important for the connected machine. So you may have a 5 to 10 machines. Out of 5 to 10 machines, drill down to 10 KPIs in each and every machine and connect those data to a cloud. Get a expert advice. Expert is nothing but you are the expert for your machine and you will be talking to your end customer with the technical support activity. It's something like what we used to do for our service bureau. Even we do have a service bureau mechanism for our some of our certain offers. With the coming slide we will discuss, where we will be monitoring the assets continuously. Whenever the asset is not behaving as per the predefined performance, we will talk to our customer and we will help our customer with the necessary corrective action. By in turn I can improve my performance of my machine. The another typical day-to-day example, you might have noticed the similar kind of activity happen with a credit card. Whenever you swipe a credit card, you will get a call from your customer care team saying that like there is a 50,000 rupees transaction happen in this credit card, which is not a normal. If it is 2,000, 3,000 rupees, yes, my customer used to do a transaction very often. But if a customer is doing a 50,000 or 1 lakh transaction, as a constant, like I used to call my customer and I will give a notification to my customer. This is all about data monitoring and control. Now, yes, I have monitored. What next? There are 3 different types of analytics are possible. One is a descriptive analytics. The next one is a diagnostic analytics. And the third one is a predictive analytics. So let's go for a descriptive analytics. So what you see in your HMI most of the time, you may have a pressure versus flow, or the today's production versus downtime, where I will plot 2 axes of variables. By seeing this data pattern, I can understand something went wrong with my process and application. Accordingly, I can do a corrective action. This is all about descriptive analytics. Diagnostic analytics. Let me take through you one example. See, I am commissioning one machine or a process, and I am plotting a 3 quadrant into a single quadrant just for easy understanding 2D view. So this is my normal operating range. So during a commissioning of my process or a machine application, I will plot those values. This is a normal operating range of my machine or a equipment. If it is working in this zone, there is nothing to get panic. My system is working properly. There may be some scenario, my data will go beyond my tolerable limit. My application will go beyond my control. This is called outbounder in terms of IoT terminology. So what I have to do, I have to address this problem in all quadrant, and I have to make sure I will bring back to the normal operating condition area. By this way, I can address the problem which is going to happen down the line. I will give you another example. Let's say we have a 2-arm robo in my shop floor, and I want to create a mechanical loose connection in one of the robo. So you can see the electrical energy, mechanical energy, and the dissipated energy in this process. After this loose connection, it's got deteriorated, and on 23rd May, the energy delivered in the mechanical system is got increased drastically, and I'm not addressed this problem for 3 days. On 26th May, my system went for a breakdown. So what we can understand from this graph, I have a time to respond, which I am not done. So within 3 days, my system went for a failure. So by plotting the values in a graph, this will really help my customer to understand and do a necessary corrective action in terms of addressing my issues. So this is about the root cause diagnostic analytics model. Let me go in deeper how Schneider Electric can help our customers in terms of addressing the day-to-day challenges in terms of the machine performance and improving the OEE, and what is the answer from Schneider Electric. Here comes the EcoStruxure. EcoStruxure is a Schneider terminology for digital transformation. If a customer is looking for a industry 4.0 solution, our answer is EcoStruxure. You know, like we have a competency in terms of building, power, IT, grid, machine, and a plant. So the group of machine is nothing but a plant. So how I will give a solution to my customer? With a 3-layer approach, started from connected product, then edge control, then app-based solution, analytic-based solution, and a service-based solution. So in a layer 3, we are giving a 3-layer solutions. Again, it's not only about a one directional. You can see there are some arrow marks are flowing in a 2 direction. So it's nothing but it's a closed loop architecture which we are giving to our customer. It's not that we will just monitor the data. We will do a necessary corrective action. By intent, we will maintain the desired values. Is this everything to be in cloud? No. I can monitor the data in cloud or on premises. You know, the current customer demand and interest is more into on-premises solution, because the industry is slowly evolving and our end customers are also adapting to this. So it may take some time, like earlier we discussed, like a drive example. So down the line, customer will accept that change. So till that, like ES V1, we can give a on-premises solution also. So this is about EcoStruxure. How I will help my customer with the offers. You can see this is the same like 3-layer approach with the respective offers in place. So in a connected product, what are the different products I may have? I may have a HMI. This is for basically for an end user. I may have a flow devices. Then I may have a TCs with intelligent motor control, different kind of sensors, Altivar drive, then intelligent MCC panel. So these are all my connected product for a machine, and I may have a Modicon controller and different supporting softwares. So this is a 3-layer approach with the respective offer in place. Let's go in deeper. You can see there are different networks in my plant, and everything is connected to a single Ethernet, and there are some different sensors. These are all communicating to a central receiver unit on a LoRa network or a Sigfox network. And trust me, these two network, it will be going to create a evolution in market in terms of the data connectivity and as a concentrator or for analysis purpose. Right now it's more of a digital signal, but you can see the transformation maybe down the line it will change for a analog signal also. So what is this LoRa or a Sigfox? Let's say I have a Wi-Fi network in my machine. So you know, it's something like what you have at your home. You have a Wi-Fi network at your home. You can connect your Wi-Fi to your mobile phone and to your laptop or to your Chromecast, and you can connect and you can use the internet. How about at an apartment level, or how about a complete building level? Here comes this LoRa or a Sigfox. This is something like a open network, and in India, LoRa is being supported by Tata, and again Sigfox itself a separate company who is a global player, and they are coming in India, and they have a presence in Bangalore also. So based on customer interest, they will establish a network around the customer premises, and these will have a Sigfox chip integrated with our hardware itself. Say for example, our existing sensor itself, it's capable of pushing the data on a Sigfox network. This data will go to a central concentrator. This concentrator can be a LP WAN, or it can be a internet server where a digital platform services, where I can able to collect the data and I can see the performance of my application. Say for example a limit switch, or for example a pressure gauge. Whether the digital signal is flowing, those data will transfer as a data packet of 12 bytes. If I say 12 byte, each and every digital signal can be accumulated into a single data pack. I can transfer those data. So this is going to be a future trend. I just want to give you a glimpse on this, and we can discuss more in detail in the coming days. And as usual, we will have a DCS based system, and we may have analytics. Aventis Pro is a Schneider Electric predictive analytics solution. And again, if you are talking about the different analytics software, these are the different Schneider advisory layer offer. We will be discussing in detail in the coming slides. So earlier what we discussed, it's at a plant level. So let's drill down to a machine level. So what I can do in terms of machines with the intelligence. So let's go in detail with each and every offer, again in terms of IoT. So I am not going to discuss everything in terms of the product front. I am going to talk in terms of technology front. Let's take example. I have a sensors. How to make this sensor as a intelligent sensor? There may be some application where I have to run a long cable in terms of establish the connectivity. We do have a less wire sensor concept. You may feel that like I'm pronouncing wrong. No, it's a less wire offer. Reason behind, I have a proximity sensor, I have a ultrasonic sensor, I have a limit switch or a pressure gauge. All these offers, like in traditional it will be a wired concept. Now what I can do, I can add one more transmitter unit. This will connect to any one of these existing sensors. By this way, this will convert existing signal data to a wireless protocol, and there will be a receiver unit. This receiver unit will communicate to a PLC. Something like this. I connected these different sensors to a receiver unit. This receiver unit will have a digital signal. This digital signal can be connected to a PLC. So what are the different offers we do have in our sensor offer range? It can be a limit switch. It can be again in case of limit switch, this transmitter itself it's not required. Our intelligent limit switch is capable of communicating directly to a receiver unit without any transmitter also. We do have this offer. This is about intelligent limit switches, then inductive, then photoelectric, ultrasonic, vision sensors, then again pressure sensor. So these are the different sensor range of offer which we can able to help you with the less wire concept. The next one, how about the temperature and humidity monitoring? Yes, these are some of the sensors which we use in our data center application especially. What is the use case? Something like this. If I want to measure my bus bar temperature of my electrical panel, what I can do, I can engage these kind of sensors directly on a bus bar, and I can measure my temperature in each and every phase of my bus bar, and this signal can transfer to a concentrator like this. This will work on a ZigBee protocol. If I say ZigBee, it is a low energy Bluetooth protocol. With this I can transfer a signal up to 100 meters. If there is no line of sight, it may go up to 25 meters. Even we do have a wireless push button. Using this wireless push button concept, I can connect to a concentrator again. I can connect such 60 push button to a central concentrator. This concentrator will have Modbus TCP/IP and Modbus RS485 protocol. I can connect to a PLC and I can connect it to a IoT world directly. So even a simple push button status, I can take it to a IoT world. The next one, drives. Our earlier example we discussed about drive, and we used to always put one energy meter as an add-on to a drive. Now our Ethernet enabled drive, you can type the IP address of your drive and you can see the web page and you can see all the parameters which you like to monitor in terms of a drive performance. It can be the current consumed, the performance, the pump plotting. If I talk about the best efficiency point of my pump, that can be plotted directly in a graphical view. And again, it is ASILIS level 2. If you're talking about high available network, this will have two Ethernet port. In terms of our high performance controller, I can have a ring architecture, making a daisy chain out of it, where I can create a most available network on RSTP protocol. RSTP means Rapid Tree Spanning Protocol, where I can give a high availability to my end customers. Yes, we talked about a lot of technology, and we talked about different kind of sensors which can be connected. How about MCB? And trust me, like I started my career with the maintenance, and many times whenever I go for a maintenance activity, I'm not very sure whether my MCB is in trip condition or in off condition. Now, with this evolution of Industry 4.0, even we come up with the MCB with the status monitoring. How I will do this? This is an Acti9 model where I can plug and play every MCBs and the different electrical switchgear component to this link module. This will have a Modbus address mapping. By this way, I can connect to a PLC or a HMI, and I can give a address mapping. If I say address mapping, like say for 40,001 is for my motor on and off, or the MCB on and off. The 40,002 is for my trip condition. This can be tracked directly with the help of IoT. The next one, this here not much of IoT, but it's app based. If you're talking about a timer, and for applications, we do have a NFC based timer. If you are having with the multiple applications, what you can do, take your mobile app, configure your timer, just tap on your timer device. Your configuration is transferred from your mobile app to a timer. That's it. Like this, you can create 30 different configurations, and you can create a password protection. 30 different configuration means it can be on delay, off delay, or on off delay. So pulse. So you can create a different patterns with a mobile app and transfer to your device. This is one of the technology which we evolved with our timer range of offer also. And this is one of the interesting offer, a controller based HMI. What I can do with the Industry 4.0 with this offer, this is how this offer looks like, where I will have a Modbus TCP IP communication is possible, and RS-232 where I can connect to a GSM modem. I was talking about the SMS alert to a maintenance engineer. So using this offer, I can generate a AT command. I can pass on a message to a maintenance engineer. Again, I can give a priority based, hierarchy based. Once there is a problem, I will give a SMS alert to a first maintenance engineer, and if he is not able to resolve the issue, I can give a maintenance alert to a manager, and if he is not acknowledged, next day morning I can give a maintenance alert to my plant head. So like this hierarchy based alert system also I can configure with this offer. On top of it, with the Ethernet port, I can connect to a mobile app. This is available in a Google Play Store. I can go online with my HMI screen directly with my mobile app. This is another functionality which we'll be discussing in detail. The next one, this is modular in place. If you're working on an existing application where customer is looking for a Industry 4.0 or a digital evolution, I have to replace the architecture. Maybe like I have to replace the existing hardware. This can be one of the differentiating offer. Reason behind this is 22 mm hole cutout. You can replace one of your existing push button in your electrical panel with this kind of offer, where you can connect your existing PLC IOs into this. Again, you can connect your existing controller data exchange on a Modbus or RS-485 protocol, and this can act like a gateway also. Again, if you are talking about physical damage of your display, this is modular. This is available in two sizes, so it's not necessary for you to replace the complete unit. You can replace only the defective display unit. The same concept, we do have a display up to 19-inch with the display concept. Yes, we discussed about the different connected products. Now we talk about the edge control layer and what is really happening in market in terms of the Industry 4.0. This one slide will talk about like what is the current trend in market. Let's say I am from Schneider Electric and I am going to talk to my customer in terms of the Schneider defined protocol, maybe like a Modbus TCP IP or RS-485, maybe on a CAN open. So these are the predominant protocol which we always used to talk to our customer. And the same way, like my competition may talk about a different protocols available in market. So what is happening at a end customer place? He has to manage different protocols at his premises. It's going to be a real challenge for my customer also. You as a OEM also, it's been going to be a challenge, because you are as a OEM, you are going to supply to a end user who is having a different controllers in his soft floor. So how you can do a data handshaking? This is going to be a challenge. For this reason, we always used to have a OPC, DA protocol, or HA protocol. These are the different protocols which is available in market for few years. The famous software might be KEP server. So this is a software which most of the customers used to work with. The limitation with this software, it is a COM based. If I say COM based, it works on a Windows platform only. But if a customer is looking for the connectivity with the hardware itself, this technology won't allow you, because it's a technology limitations. Now thanks to OPC UA, this is a new concept available in market, where a customer can able to exchange data directly with the hardware itself. You can see this architecture where I have M241, which will act like a OPC UA server, and again a packed drive. This will act like a OPC UA server. I have a M251 OPC UA server. Third party PLC also act like a OPC UA server. So we created a network in our customer place as a OPC UA enabled network. Again, I may have a SCADA. This SCADA on a fog network, this will act like a OPC UA client. So these are the different Schneider Electric softwares which will act like a OPC UA client. So ultimately, we are not talking on the existing traditional protocols. We are talking about a new protocol called OPC UA protocol. One is, as I told you, openness. Industry 4.0 is all about interoperability, open system. How I can achieve openness using this kind of hardware. Why this is not possible earlier? I told you with the limitation of the Windows platform. But this new hardware, it's OS independent. Even I can load with Linux, or I can build my own hardware which is capable of OPC UA. That is the reason, like in market, if you see any hardware, we are not only about Schneider Electric, any hardware we are going to launch in market is going to be a OPC UA enabled hardware. This is one typical layout where you can see I have a soft floor. One communication is on Ethernet IP, another one is on Circos 3. These two will exchange data on a OPC UA, and again the same data can transfer to a SCADA, ERP and MES on a OPC UA. If I am an IT player, if I want to read those data, I can read those data directly into a cloud using a OPC UA protocol. And another need of a market, the current situation, is the database. As I told you earlier, it's not that analytics I have to do everything in a cloud. I can do on-premises analytics also. How I can do analytics? I may have a IT freelancer as my partner, and he can collect all this data from my existing data source. He can create a query, and he will create a algorithm on top of SQL. So for this, what I need, I should make my PLC intelligent, and it should be capable of pushing the data to a database directly. If I say database directly, here I am not using any other SCADA software which we use traditionally. I am just exchanging data between PLC 1, 2, 3 to a database using a SQL gateway software which you have to install in a central computer. Now what will happen if I want to calculate a OEE of my plant? All those PLC data I can connect to a database directly. In a simple language, we have a function block which can run inside a PLC. This will act like a SQL client. So that can be this will give you access to the database where you can write your query, and you can write a logic, and you can throw a result back to a controller, or you can create your own dashboard using web API functionality. The current trend in market is REST API. There are many customers who talks about REST API, where give me a data, I will do my own analytics. So this kind of concept is also possible with the SQL database connectivity. The next one, how about our controllers? So we have a controllers range starts from very small applications where 0.2 microseconds to 0.002 microseconds for a 128 KB characters. So this is how our performance of our controller starts from small application to a high-end applications. If I say high-end application, what does it mean? We can control 16 axis servo with in 2 milliseconds, and if it is 8 axis in 1 millisecond, we can create a synchronization. And again, if you talk about Circos 3 protocol, yes, we do have offer in this, and these are all like OPC UA enabled hardware which we discussed in the earlier slide. And if you are looking for a very simple application where you want only simple pulse train output, yes, we do have an offer for that. So we start from a simple offer to a high performance oriented offer in our product range. Let's take another scenario. You are looking for a digital transformation, and you have a very big install base at your customer place, and your customer is going to create a new digital journey at his premises. So the first point which customer going to ask you is how to change my existing hardware to a IoT enabled hardware. Here comes a Edgebox in as one of the major software which is going to help you in terms of achieving this. The reason behind, the Edgebox will act like a gateway. It will communicate with the existing setup of your data source. It can be a RS-485. There may be some scenario like it may be a digital signal. This digital signal I can collect to a SCU. The SCU data can be thrown to here. That is also possible. Another scenario, I can communicate with RS-232, RS-485, and I can push this data to cloud. If I say cloud data pushing, how I will do this? I will give you one example. This Edgebox will be loaded with the web server software, which is a Schneider IoT software. This IoT software will write a query into the Modbus protocol where I can write a function in terms of the data extraction. This data extraction I can throw to cloud on a HTTP request. The cloud can be any cloud vendor in market, or it can be a MQTT protocol also. Like this, I will write a JSON. I will write a JSON query for speed, torque, and energy, and the values are 10, 20, and 30. So with the JSON query, I will plot those values to speed, torque, energy is equal to 20, 30, and 10. So like this, I can push the value to cloud. If I want to give you a live example, let me take you through the software just for your easy understanding. In the meanwhile, this is what we have done in our Hyderabad plant. So we are talking about the digital transformation. So the digital transformation should start from our side first. So what we have done in our Hyderabad plant and in our Bangalore Schneider plant, we equipped the condition monitoring system. This is a typical dashboard which we created using our cloud-based software, Wonderware Online. I am monitoring a humidity, I am monitoring the leakage current, I am monitoring a temperature of all the components in my soft floor. By this way, I can go for a condition based monitoring system. How I will do this? Using this kind of software. EcoStruxure Schneider Node-RED Factory. This is how this software looks like, where I will have a lot of different tools to play with. Let's say inject block. Here I can able to give a information like the number which I need to throw to cloud. Let's say this is a Modbus data. I can throw this data, and where I have to receive, maybe like in a debug window. This can be a PLC, or it can be a cloud, or it can be a MQTT server. So this is one of the MQTT server. I can connect my data to a MQTT server, and I can write a query in terms of pushing the data to cloud and run it. So now my data will start flowing to cloud directly. You can see this message flow payload like it is 90 now. The same way I can work and play around with my softwares with different protocols. If you talk about OPC UA or different protocols available in market, this will act like a OPC UA client. Again, this will act like cloud storage to a Wonderware Online. This is a Schneider Machine Advisor software which we'll be discussing in detail, and Wonderware Online. So what I have to do, how we will talk about PLC communication in general with addressing format. The same way in cloud we always talk about a token based data passing. The URL to be assigned and give a authentication token ID. It's a unique token ID which will be passed on from your cloud data storage. Feed here and establish the connection. That's it. Your data will start flowing to cloud automatically. So this is a software which will act like a gateway for your existing install base. Like this, to convert into a IoT enabled protocol, we will give you this kind of Edgebox. This will create a data transformation. The another scenario, let's say I have a existing PLC and this is not a OPC UA enabled hardware, but customer is looking for a OPC enabled network in his premises. So what I can do, I can use EcoStruxure Operator Terminal Expert software. Using this software, I can create a web server API functionality. This is nothing but like REST API. To make it very simple, I will go back to the same example which we discussed earlier. I have a motor with me, and this motor temperature is 50 degree and it is in a normal operating range. So if I am a IoT player and if I want to work with my data, so what is very important for me, it's not that like I have to just work with my screen. It's not the IoT is all about a beautiful screen. It's all about the data and the values which I am going to get from the field level. I have to take it to the analytics format where I have to access those variables only. It's something like a OPC where you will access those as an object. The same way in web server we will access those as a variable. I will give you a live example now to understand this particular scenario better. This is a IoT screen. As a OEM, I created a HMI screen like this. This HMI screen, I am going to publish the data like this is a line 1. Maybe let me change to a line 2. And here what is happening? These are all the different variables available in my runtime. These data I have to pull out and I have to work for my analytics purpose using a web API functionality. What I can do, I can take it through a web browser like this where I can plot a beautiful OEE dashboard where I can see like the target OEE and FTC quality actual collection. Like this I can create my own screen design in a web browser. So what I have done, I created the HTML page and I have a good IT team with me and he will create a data analytics model out of it. And using this kind of web API functionality, I can production, let's say production. You can see this production and my target I am going to change to 100. My target is 100. So what is happening here, from a HMI screen runtime, I have just pulled out those variables into a web browser by writing a query in a simple HTML page. I can pull out those variables. So how it is happening, let me give you deep insights on this. So this is a source code for data pulling. So as an IT expert, what I will do, I will just go to a source code and I can write my own analytics engine like this to pull out my data and what are the variable I want to access. I can enable out of this and I can access those variable. Just to give an example, right now I am going to my software and I am accessing the port number 8082. I am going to change this variable to a 8081. I am going to save this. If I give refresh, my connection to my runtime, it is lost. So what is happening here? In my software, we just gave access to pull out those data, something like this. Go to variables and target screen and the functionality. The data access, I will just give a authorization to this particular port 8082. By seeing this, I can just access to my data directly using the web browser. Since the port ID is changed, I am not able to communicate. So to re-establish the communication, instead of 8081, I will change to 8082 and I will give a save as. And if I give a refresh, I can able to pull out the data from my variables. So I hope that this information is very clear for you, because this is very important in terms of a digital transformation journey for any customers, where I can access my data of my existing hardware just by adding a small HMI. This will make the door open for a IoT player to collect the data from my controller and he can start working on his own analytics. Because the current trend in market, one, yes, you will give your own analytics. The second is customer, like let's say like the cream layer customer like ITC, Britannia or Unilever, they will have their own cloud. They want to do analytics. So what they will ask you is a IoT enabled machine. So what is IoT enabled machine? Something like this. My machine is capable of pushing the data to cloud. Do whatever you like to do with your application, but I have a connectors. These connectors will enable you to collect the data and work on your data. The next example, OPC UA. The earlier scenario what we have discussed is a web API functionality, and the same customer is talking about the OPC UA enabled network. Maybe yes, my existing PLC is not capable of pushing the data on a OPC UA. What we can do using our HMI software or a actual HMI, these will act like a gateway. Let's say example, this is my PLC. This PLC will connect to Schneider HMI. It can be any PLC in a market. We will have all those drivers. Using this HMI as a gateway, these will enable the OPC UA server, and customer cloud system will act like a OPC UA client. So what will happen, whatever the data is available in a PLC on RS485, I will use HMI as a converter. This will convert the RS485 or a RS232 data to a Ethernet enabled data on a OPC UA protocol. This is the need of an hour for every customer in terms of upgrading the existing install base. This will help you in terms of addressing those kind of requirements. So whatever we have discussed so far, yes, I have discussed about the connected product, then an edge controller. These two layers we have discussed. And this is what we traditionally do with our every machines. So as a Schneider Electric, what is going to be the value proposition from Schneider to our customer is the layer 3 solutions, where we are going to talk about the different offers in the coming slides. To make my offer easy to understand, I just come up with a scenario. Let's take you are a OEM and you are going to address two customers. Customer A who manufacture automotive vehicles, the customer B maybe into a steel industry. As a OEM, I am looking for a digital transformation solution. So how Schneider can able to support this OEM? Let's see this case study. As a OEM, I have three typical requirement. Let's say I am supplying 4 to 5 machines to a end user. Out of these 4 machines, whatever the efficiency commitment of my machines, like the 4 machine is in line, but the 5th one, I am not able to derive the expected result. Now customer start complaining me. Since I don't have any data backup with me, or I don't have access to my system, as a OEM, I have to simply accept, and I can't able to give a solution immediately. Let's take a scenario here like this. The same 5 machines I am monitoring over cloud, and I have a service bureau team sitting in our office as a OEM. I will monitor everything which every machine across my customer place, and I will see how my systems are behaving continuously. Okay, so now it's very easy for me in terms of monitoring my system. Whenever something went wrong, I can use a cloud-based monitoring solution, which I will propose a machine advisor as a Schneider partner to my OEM. He is going to use a machine advisor. The next scenario, yes, I am able to monitor the data. Now I have to guide my customer in terms of doing the necessary corrective action. So how I can guide my customer? Maybe like many scenarios, I will talk to him over phone. I will say like in your machine, like go to your right corner and the left hand side, like there is one small sensor which you have to replace, which is creating a problem. So this is the explanation you have to do. Many a times if you say right hand side, end customer may go for a left hand side and he might be searching for it, and the effectiveness of troubleshooting the problem will be the task. So now what I can do, while creating a project, me as a OEM, I know this is a typical problem 1, 2, 3, which always most of my customer find real challenge, and I have a competency with me. Many a times I will explain and I will resolve this. Instead, I can give a tablet based augmented reality solution. What is this augmented reality, which we will be explaining in detail in the coming slide? By taking a tablet and if I show in front of the machine, this will give a necessary troubleshooting procedures like SOP, standard operating procedures for my maintenance team. I can give those information. By seeing this information, customer can resolve the issue by his own without depending on a OEM. In a simple language, this tablet will act like a virtual assistant for a end user. Next one is a program modification. So in terms of program modification, I know once I start presenting, like many of you might ask, I have a team viewer, I have a any disk. Why I need to go for this solution? I will explain you with the coming slide with the answer. Now let's see how this three solutions going to work hand in hand in terms of giving a better solution to my customer. The scenario, the same example, the 50 motor is operating at 50 degree and it is increased its temperature by 70 degree. After understanding this, I am going to talk to my customer to monitor my data. How I will do this? This is how the software looks like. This is called EcoStruxure Machine Advisor. And this software is free of cost. You as a OEM, if you are listening to this, I can give you the link. You can enroll yourself. It's completely free of cost. For the first 3 machines, you can connect n number of data and you can monitor those data in a cloud. You can try for a field test, and if you feel this asset is worth to invest, like you can consider this offer. So how the software is going to work? This is how it is. As I am getting a global fleet view. I have a different machines in Germany and in India and in Bangalore. Okay, let's for this understanding purpose, let's go to a machine in Germany. You can see there is one small triangle. So what does it mean? I have some certain limits derived, and it is above my derived temperature. In this use case, maybe like my temperature is 70 degree, which is above my tolerable limit. By seeing this triangle, I can understand something went wrong. I can click on monitor. This will take you through a dashboard like this. You can see this, my temperature, this particular window, I am getting a red color square box, and the rest of the square box looks okay. And here, the temperature alarm value is greater than the defined value, exceeded the maximum value of 50. So now what I am going to do, I have to talk to my customer. I will talk to him over phone and in terms of addressing this temperature high issue, because it looks very simple now, but down the line the persistent temperature increase is going to affect my motor. By in turn, it is going to affect my performance of my machine. So this is one of the critical alarm for me. I have to talk to my customer. So how this is happening, I will explain you with this add widget view. Let's say I am going to create a new dashboard. So I am creating an OEM demo. Here I can click on widgets, and this will give you different tools. If I say different tools, how you have a mobile phone with a different date and clock widgets at your mobile phone, the same way these are the different widgets are available for your use case. You can just click on this and just drag and drop. You can create your own demo view. Sorry. I think because of this connection, like my internet consumption is more, so there is some delay. So let's go ahead with the same example. Here I created a dashboard and I am plotting those values. So you can see this trend, it's plotted again. Okay, here I got it. So this is a view. I can drag and drop my different assets and I can create a pattern out of it. So with this kind of drag and drop, I can create my own customized view. As I told you earlier in my presentation, the key KPIs. So once the drilled KPIs for my application is derived, just plot those in this graphical view, and the data will come from my real-time machines, not with a static IP. Even with the standard internet is more than sufficient. Maybe you can even connect with our edge box. This edge box will act like a data concentrator and will throw the data to cloud. how this data concentrator will work and throw the data to cloud, something like this. This is a block which we are will be using along with our edge box. So using this block, I just need to go to my machine in India, VKA, go to monitor. Here I will get access to my machine. Like, is that a sample data I like to use or a real live data? I can select on a live data. So custom, Tango, and which kind of protocol I have to use. So either it is a HTTP protocol or a MQTT protocol. In case if I need to push it on a MQTT protocol, I will select MQTT. Now in this scenario, I will use HTTP. So I got two information. One is a header, another one is a server name. So just take this server name and I will plot like this. Again, the token ID which I discussed earlier, like I have to plot into my token ID directly. So cloud. And you can give the start address, like maybe this is my machine 1, start address from 1. That's it. And connect to my variable. And your data are ready to move to Schneider Cloud. So this is how you can able to pull out the data from your existing machine setup to our Schneider Cloud. So existing machine setup, say for example, it is working on a Modbus protocol or on a OPC UA. I will link like this. That's it. The same way, if you are talking about a OPC UA, I will go for a OPC UA connectivity to the existing protocols of any PLC. And this will like a OPC UA client. So connect with this. So this is nothing but any of the existing third-party PLC also. Maybe like in a soft floor, as I told you earlier, I have a third-party different PLC and it is working on a different protocol. I can connect those protocol also using this OPC UA connectivity. That's it. So this will push the data to my machine advisor. So this is how the software and this tool will work. And as I told you earlier, this is free of cost, and please speak to your respective office sales engineers and they can help you in terms of creating this account. The next solution, and also one more feature which I missed to inform you, we do have a track view. So if I say track view, you as a OEM, you have to create a database for your every customers. So what we can able to offer you as a part of this offer is the cloud-based data storage. If I say cloud-based data storage, this can act like a Google Drive. So in Google Drive, typically what you do, you will create a folder and you will load your every information related to a customer into a folder. So here I can create an architecture which I gave it to a specific customer. Let's say like a customer A is having this kind of architecture. I can go to a document folder. I can upload all the relevant documents which is relevant to my application, and I can create a database out of it. I can upload. So like this, I can create a database for each and every customer. Again, I can plan for it. If I say plan, this customer, I have to do a preventive maintenance in the next 3 months. I can create a calendar and I can roll out to the respective engineer to address this customer site on a so and so date. So like this, I can work on a customer assistant model also. So this is about Machine Advisor. Let's go to the next topic, augmented reality. So I told you earlier, I as a maintenance person, I will ask him to take a tablet along with me. See, this is a motor, and as soon as I stand in front of the motor, in a tablet, I can able to see a lot of information. What is my temperature and what is the airflow, which we created earlier. How this is working? It's something similar to your smartphone. You are having a smartphone with a face detection. As soon as you stand in front of your mobile, this mobile will unlock. How it is happening? I have a image teaching process inside my mobile. First, I have to calibrate my machine. By accordingly, like this will detect and unlock. So this is how it is working. Again, what are the variables you like to throw? Again, it's all up to you. It's such a open software. You are the master on this. You can decide. Yes, these are the pain points like 1, 2, 3, which I want to address using this augmented reality. You can freely do this. Again, if you are talking about a videos, if you are talking about a PDF document, everything can be plotted directly in a cloud. If I say video, why I need a video? Say for example, I will give you our day-to-day life example. Maybe I'll take from movie. I mean, many movie we have seen this. I have a bomb to detach. I really don't know whether I have to detach a red color wire or a green color wire. A hero will always get confused, right? What I can do, I can create a scenario out of it, and I can create a video. By seeing this video, yes, he can understand. Yes, I have to cut the red wire. Again, it's not that every time I will show this kind of alert and information. I can create a condition or a rules. Based on rules only, these videos and the PDF document will pop up, and this will help my customer in terms of troubleshooting the problem. I will show you one small video demo on this. See, this is how this solution work. I am standing in front of a equipment, and as soon as I just start moving left and right, this will throw all the relevant information related to my equipment. Say for example, this is a header of this machine, and there is one small faceplate is popped up, and it gives all the relevant information related to my machine. Okay. The same way, if I am standing in front of the electrical panel, I can give a visual illusion to my customers. You know, like many a times, the electrical panel access to an end customer is going to be a challenge. You know, is the running system. I'm going to open an electrical panel. Suddenly, like when MCB is stripped or limit switch is stripped, my system is down. What I can do for explaining some concept or in terms of troubleshooting, I can go to an electrical panel like this. This will have one small pop-up. After seeing this electrical panel, there is one small pop-up which is like a balloon. I can click on this balloon. I can open an electrical panel virtually like this. And here there is some small technical write-up. By seeing this technical write-up, I can understand what went wrong with my drive, and I can troubleshoot this problem. So you may feel this is really a complicated software and it will take a lot of time for you to troubleshoot. It's such a easy software. Many a times we need just 15 minutes to complete the proof of concept. For your easy understanding, maybe I can show you the software. Since we have seen this demo, let me take you through the software. How we have did this development, I will just show you in a few minutes. This is how the cloud development software looks like. This is a cloud environment. I can click on the different projects which we have developed in our customer place. So once the project is loaded, it's something like a PowerPoint presentation. What do you do? If whenever I want to create a PowerPoint presentation, I may load some images. I may load header, footer, and I will create an animation, right? Like first I have to get a header, then I have to get a footer, then the middle image. The same way, I can load the images like this, and I can take to an electrical panel. So what you have seen is a visual illusion, something like this. I have two images, one in open condition, another one is in closed condition. Just by seeing this, I can understand what to do with my equipment and how to resolve this issue with the technical experts who is available inside your tablet itself. So there is no more the real-time technical expert is required. This tablet is more than sufficient in terms of the learning the new process and creating a SOP. Everything can be done with the help of Augmented Operator Advisor. And how this architecture works, it is PLC independent. I can connect with any PLC, and again there will be a edge box. This edge box will act like a gateway in terms of collecting the data from different controllers. And if you are talking about a SQL database and you are working with a MQTT protocol, or you have a data in cloud and you are just looking for a data to be as a mediator where I need some platform to showcase my data, this augmented reality can be the excellent solution for you. You are creating a new system where you are having a data in cloud and you just want to plot those data in a tablet in a local PC. Use augmented reality. As simple as that. And the last solution. Yes, we have done a SOP and I could able to maintain the temperature to a normal temperature. By the time I realized something went wrong with my RTD model where I have to change the RTD model, maybe like the actual the analog input also got failed, but I have another spare analog input model where I'm going to mount this RTD. Those scenario, it's not only about the hardware, I have to do a software also. If I say software, I have to do a program modification in my PLC. So how I will do this? I have a secure connect software sitting in a remote location. I can access my customer PLC or a drive using HMI as a gateway. So now what will happen? It's not necessary for me to go to a end customer site to resolve this issue. Another use case I will tell you. If you are giving this kind of solution, the customer may feel that you are getting access to my controller 24/7, which I don't like, where I don't want you to give the provision. You can give this concept to your customer, give a hotspot. Whenever a customer like to troubleshoot the problem, just enable the hotspot to this, or whenever they want to plug in the LAN cable, plug in with a standard IP address, I mean standard internet connectivity. I can access my controller and I can upload, download, whatever I do with the traditional LAN cable. I can troubleshoot the problem easily. And there may be one question which I told you earlier. You may think that I have a TeamViewer which do the similar functionality. Why I need this? The first point, many times in TeamViewer, you may not comfortable in your giving a program backup to your customer for many reasons. But you want to access this. Now what will happen, whether you like it or not, you have to give a laptop with a program backup, all the softwares loaded, and the customer has to connect his laptop to a controller, and you will go online with the TeamViewer from a remote location. This is the traditional architecture. But with this architecture in place, what I will do, I will just connect to my controller directly, and there is no dependency on laptop and which is loaded with the software. Everything happened between point to point. Second scenario, this is a cyber secure one. This is in compliance with IEC 62433-3 standard. This will create a VPN tunnel for your customer without any static IP address. It is not only for a existing Schneider controller. Even I can access even a third-party controller, and I can go online with a third-party controller also, and I can do a download, upload, program modification, everything can be done. The third important point is, many a times like you might find this similar solution in market where you have to invest one third-party gateway hardware. This will create a VPN tunnel for you. Also you are having a HMI in your application. So with this solution, what will happen? This HMI itself will act like a VPN tunnel for you. This will create a VPN tunnel for the complete network. Down the line, I can access any device in my network. So this is how this secure connect as an offer it will work. Like this. The last one, maybe like the customer is looking for a very simple IoT enabled network where I don't want to go for a very hi-fi stuff into a cloud and monitor control and all. With the existing control itself, say for example PLC and HMI, I can connect it to a Wi-Fi network. With a local LAN network itself, I can go online with my HMI screen with a mobile app. I can control, I can monitor, and I can troubleshoot the problem with the mobile app itself. So this is available in a Google Play Store where you can download this app and you can start using it. This is like something like a zero investment for you, because this app hardly 1,000 rupees, and once you download you can use a number of time. So if you are looking for a simple IoT enabled panel, this is the right solution for you. You can go for a PLC which is connected to a HMI to a Wi-Fi router. Take a tablet and you can access your machine or control your machine from a remote location also. And in the coming days, we are going to launch one more offer called Lean Digitization offer. This Lean Digitization offer is a OEE dashboard solution based on your customers. Like if they are looking for OEE dashboard solution, we do have offer. And we discussed about many solutions. One of the key differentiator for Schneider Electric in terms of OEM market. So we do have our own expertise in terms of different solutions like packaging, pumping, hoisting, HVAC, material handling, material working, F&B OEMs, and refrigerations. So for all these customer segment, what we do is something very unique. We do have a ADE. ADE is an application expert. We won't talk about the product and the product wise experts. We also have a application experts. If I am talking about a hoisting or a packaging, we have engineers who works on a particular application as a packaging engineer or a hoisting engineer. He is part of our Schneider Electric team now, and he will help our customers right from the design to the completion of the project. So like this, we have a internal technical database, I mean repository of team. And we do have a TVDAs. If I say TVDA, tested, validated, documented architecture, where I will give you a user guide with a wiring diagram, the project backup, the HMI application. What I have to do is I'll just go and download this. These are the scalable architectures. Start from a simple configuration to the maximum configuration. We can derive solutions. One typical example, these are the different function blocks what we have along with our SoMachine software itself. You can just go and pick this library from your library block, and these are ready to use. And for a complex application, these are the different blocks we have. And what you can expect in the coming days. This is one of the new range of controller which is IoT enabled. If I say IoT enabled, this is how it looks like. You can see the pick and place how we are performing this. This will have a MQTT protocol integrated, and all the IoTs, whatever machine advisor connectivity, everything is possible with this controller. This is going to be our new generation of controller. And what we discussed on a small machine level, and if your customer is looking for something bigger, like on a MES level, yes, we do have our MES solutions. This is one success story from one of our customer. And if you're talking about the predictive analytics, we have a predictive analytics solution which we gave it to Tata Power. Again, this is one of the success story. So if you're talking about predictive analytics for your end customers, we can able to support you. So that's it from my side. I took exactly 1.5 hours. If you have any questions, now the forum is open and we can discuss.
Yes, thank you so much, Balaji, for the uber knowledgeable session we just had. Yes, now comes the Q&A part. We'll take the Q&A session through the chat box. Participants can type in their questions in the chat box, which you can find at the leftmost corner at the bottom. And we'll take your questions one by one.